In this episode, we have Mr. Manan Tijoriwala with us to explain all the concepts related to market.
We saw a big problem के behavioral issue होता है, especially investing in small and mid caps, right? लोग गलत टाइम पे आते हैं, गलत टाइम पे जाते हैं. Usually at that time हमने जो देखा है ना, इन्वेस्टर आता नहीं इन्वेस्ट करने. म्यूचुअल फंड ऐसा प्रोडक्ट होना चाहिए. It has to be a pure product. SEBI has created a great category, and we are public servants. We have to ensure that people's money is handled extremely responsibly. At the same time, in a mutual fund, you are catering to every class of customer. I'm not saying that AI is a bad word or it's a bad concept, it's a humbug concept, but a lot of times a lot of companies which would have been rent seekers in this space आ गए हैं, पता नहीं क्या करना है, पैसा मिलता है उठा लो. We are trying to make it risk adjusted return generator for our investors with as low volatility as possible. That's the target of this fund.
Investments in Specialized Investment Fund involves relatively higher risk, including potential loss of capital, liquidity risk, and market volatility. Please read all investment strategy related documents carefully before making the investment decision.
Indian investors today are more informed but also more confused. They invest more, they consume more content, yet the conviction seems very low. In this episode, we have somebody from a different view to explain all the concepts related to markets, related to the new product. We have Mr. Manan Tijoriwala with us from ICICI Prudential. He is a fund manager at ICICI, and today we'll talk about the market outlook and a very interesting product, that is SIF, Specialized Investment Funds. Welcome Manan sir. I am definitely sure कि जो हम आज बातचीत करेंगे हमारे इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए काफी एक हेल्पफुल और इंसाइटफुल सेशन होगा. So I would like to start this conversation with a very basic question. कि मार्केट क्या लगता है आपके हिसाब से, as a fund manager's lens, how does the markets look?
Right, so 2025 was a very interesting year. We saw a lot of sideways market at an index level. This was backed by a lot of global outperformance of our Indian markets versus the global sets, especially the developing markets. So basically, we saw a lot of that catch up happening in last year. So Korea, China, all these markets caught up. So this year it becomes very interesting because इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि nothing is cheap in our country as of now. Valuation wise, all the indices are looking still expensive, but given the underperformance last year, it puts us at least in an interesting spot for this year. Based on this, what we see is large caps are looking decent now. Mid caps are still looking slightly expensive. Small caps, we are being more neutralish now. That's the way we are looking at the broader markets. Lot of risks that we also see. Nothing domestically. I think domestically we are fairly placed. The government has done a lot of things that needed to be done to aid the economy. So we'll see the benefits of it coming in now. Globally, one of the risks that we see is on the front of artificial intelligence. I'm not saying that AI is a bad word or it's a bad concept. It's a humbug concept. It is a concept that is here to stay. But what would have happened is we see extreme valuations there. A lot of times a lot of companies which would have been rent seekers in this space, meaning आ गए हैं, पता नहीं क्या करना है, पैसा मिलता है उठा लो. So we expect that when drawdowns happen in such concepts, they are hard, like what we saw in the early 2000s, right? We saw that internet crash. So a lot of companies which didn't have a great business model, they had to wither away. A lot of companies which were good and had some business model, they stayed and became stronger in the process. So if at all this AI, it's difficult to call it, but if at all we see some drawdown in that effect, I think India should be poised to be much stronger in such cases. So that's the market view. On I think I'm anticipating that you'll ask me something on gold and silver.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I'm no expert on it, but what at least I can tell you for sure is that something that I can't value with a price to book, price to earning, and I have to look at a lot of demand supply gap to get bridged and whatnot, becomes difficult to ascertain. So I would rather not have a very big view as of now on these two commodities. But yeah, that's the broad market outlook that we have.
Okay. So as you rightly explained, the mean reversion and the geopolitical situations are the challenges which our economy can have, and I think जो आपने mention किया, large caps still have some valuation and mid cap and small caps looks little different. So I think this will definitely give our investors a little view how the markets are going, and about gold and silver जो बहुत लोग काफी कुछ समझ रहे हैं, and I think in to put it in a way, in a words, one needs to be very cautious while investing in gold and silver. So sir, moving forward, I would like to ask you about a very buzz product, that is SIF, Specialized Investment Funds. Sir, हमने देखा है, we have seen that mutual funds have done a great job for retail investors. Then why is a need of introducing a fund or a specialized product like SIF into the market?
श्योर, ग्रेट क्वेश्चन. सो बेसिकली हमारे सीईओ भी हमें ना ड्रिल कर रखे हैं दिमाग में कि म्यूचुअल फंड ऐसा प्रोडक्ट होना चाहिए. इट हैज़ टू बी अ प्योर प्रोडक्ट. सेबी हैज़ क्रिएटेड अ ग्रेट कैटेगरी and we are public servants. We have to ensure that people's money is handled extremely responsibly. At the same time, in a mutual fund, you are catering to every class of customer. And हमारे CEO बहुत important example देते हैं. You are catering to the needs of a retired school teacher in Guwahati also, right? So वहाँ से लेकर it can be a spectrum of people जो invest करते हैं in mutual fund space. At the other end, you have PMS products, AIF products, जहाँ पे there are some added flexibilities, much more liberty to the fund manager in a lot of aspects. वहाँ पे entry barrier is kept higher, right? So वहाँ पे 50 लाख डालोगे तो PMS में आपको एंट्री मिलेगी. AIF में जाने के लिए 1 करोड़ से ऊपर एंट्री का मिलती है. So those products are higher risk products. There were some features that we saw are there in a PMS AIF which were not available to a mutual fund, and we run in a much more regulated space in any case. So as an extension to the mutual fund, SEBI has given us another wonderful product called SIF. यहाँ पे एंट्री बैरियर इज दैट यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट 10 लाख रुपए से आप शुरू कर सकते हैं. उसके बाद आप 10,000 रुपए की SIPs कर सकते हैं. दैट इज द फीचर. सेकेंड फीचर इज इसमें एक्सपेंस रेशियोज विल बी सिमिलर टू अ म्यूचुअल फंड. Third is taxation will be similar to a mutual fund. And from PMS and AIFs, we are taking a lot of ability to do derivatives.
Okay.
यहाँ पे काफ़ी freedom दी है हमें regulator ने to do derivatives. It can be for hedging, and in addition to hedging, we can use derivatives for unhedged short exposures as well. So it can be it enables us to capture a lot of the downside as well. So versus some mutual fund product where if you don't like a company, you don't buy it. In a SIF, you can not buy it, and plus you can go short on it as well. Okay. That is one of the features. But also hedging जो करनी है mutual fund में, there are restrictions on how much quantity of a stock you hold. उसको कितना hedge कर सकते हैं. In SIF, I can hedge everything down to zero. That is also available as a facility.
Okay.
So these two are key features: derivatives and ability to short and hedge extensively. On the other end, mutual funds में say we are taking expense ratios, we are taking taxation, and we are taking exit loads are also very similar to a mutual fund.
Okay. From the perspective of our layman investors, how would SIF would be structured, and क्या उसके portfolio constraints होंगे, क्या किस तरीके से वो structure होगा? As I know that you will be handling one of the ICICI SIF SIF product X100. So can you please go let us know कैसे portfolio design होगा, क्या उसके constraints होंगे?
Sure. So for a SIF product, so how we are working on it is we have created models. We are big believers in having a model in place for any product that we are launching. That model will tell us on allocations. After that, after those allocations, we will further do stock and sector selection. There is a lot of derivatives, freedom to do derivatives here. So let's say my model says let's be 20% equity. Then I can buy gross up 65% equity and then hedge everything down to 20%. Okay. So that is something that is available. A SIF product is, it sits right between a mutual fund and a PMS AIF. That's how I would best put it. It's and how we are designing it, we are trying to make it an aggressive allocation product. And at the same time, what we would want to see is a customer who stays through a cycle to see the maximum benefits of being invested in such a product.
Okay. As you mentioned that this product would be a bridge between PMS AIF and a mutual funds.
Correct.
With the taxation of mutual funds, with the flexibility of AIF PMS. And I recently came to know that you guys are also launching two strategies in this particular space. So can you please tell us more about the categories?
Sure. So I'll just talk you through that. So what we are launching, there are total 7 types of schemes that are allowed by the regulator to be launched in the SIF space. We are launching 2. One is a pure equity product. It's the X Top 100 Long Short Fund. The other is a hybrid long short fund.
Okay.
So in both of the products, we have come up with certain differentiating factors. What we are trying to make out of our SIFs, I mean, there is a lot of interpretation of SIFs that people can do, and we'll see the product shaping up very differently, maybe a year, 2 years down the line at an industry level. As of now, हम जो करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, we want to make it an asset allocation product. We want to make it aggressive on allocation, which will give the benefits to investor through a cycle.
Okay.
And at one end, what we are seeing is, and X Top 100 especially, where it's the X Top 100 means mid and small cap stocks that we are targeting. So it will be an allocation for your investor for their mid and small cap requirements. We want to make it a all cycle fund. So generally what we see in mid and small caps, people come in at the wrong time, people get disappointed, go out at the wrong time. So we want to remove that entire problem out of the process. My fund is designed in such a way that at one end, when we are very bullish on the markets, we will go 100% into small and mid cap investments.
Okay.
We don't need to do derivatives. It will look like a long only fund. On the other end, what we want to do now, how do we bring down the exposure to the markets all the way down to zero is the interesting part, right? So we have to buy 65% to remain compliant with the requirement of the scheme. So we'll buy small and mid caps up to 65%. But if let's say I'm extremely negative on the market and the model tells me go 0% small and mid cap, तो 65% स्टॉक्स खरीद लेंगे स्मॉल मिड कैप के और सारे हेज करके जीरो कर देंगे.
Okay.
So उसमें से आर्बिट्राज रिटर्न सॉर्ट ऑफ कमाना है. That is what we intend to do, and that protects the investors' interest at such times when I'm negative on the market. When I'm bullish on the market, I will do full small and mid cap in the fund.
So which means कि जो इन्वेस्टर है उसे both bull run में and bear run में भी returns देखने को मिल सकते हैं.
So what we are trying to make it, it is a how do I put it? We are trying to create it as a risk-adjusted return generator for our investors with as low volatility as possible.
Okay.
That's the target of this fund.
With less volatility or targeting
With less
the,
volatility.
returns.
Yes.
Okay. And what about the second strategy, that is hybrid?
Yes. So on hybrid long short, what we are trying to create is an asset allocation model. What we are saying for both funds is we don't want to do uncovered shorts right now. It is a very different ball game. We don't want to give any ऐसे झटके नहीं देने investors को in the process of trying to short something. See, it's an art. Avoiding something is one thing, and it goes up, then it's not a painful thing for you.
Exactly.
Other than losing your returns on that. The other problem is when you are shorting something and it goes up, it's a totally different ball game altogether, right? तो अभी हम नहीं promise करना चाहते investors को that we will capture all of the short side as well. What we want to do is use hedging to bring down the exposure, and on the other end make it look like a long short fund basically.
Okay.
That's what we are trying to do.
एक पॉइंट है जो और मैं डिस्कस करना चाहता हूँ आपसे, दैट इज एग्जिट लोड or exit point for an SIF investor. So is it all working days for the hybrid or the X100 funds?
Yeah, so for the X100 fund हमने रखा है कि you can exit every day. रोज exit मिलेगा. On the hybrid fund, I think it's just a Monday and Wednesday when you can exit.
Okay.
Other than that, no difference.
Okay. Moving forward, sir, for an investor who is investing for the first time in SIF, so would it be like quoting that for a hybrid fund, it is more we have a balance advantage in mutual funds, so that is also come under a hybrid category. So क्या हम इसको इस तरीके प्रोडक्ट कर सकते हैं कि we are investing into a hybrid with a more managed volatility in case we are investing into hybrid SIF?
So managing volatility तो हमारा पहला धर्म ही होता है. Here in this hybrid, what we are trying to do, we are making an aggressive asset allocation fund here, which will toggle between equity and debt. So we are trying to let's say, how do we put it? So a model हमने ऐसा design किया है in that fund. It will be basically a very counter cyclical fund. जब market बहुत heated हो जाता है, the equity levels drop. When the market is looking extremely attractive, meaning let's say a time of a COVID or something, when you see a sharp drawdown in the market, at that time the model is supposed to go 75% in equity.
Okay.
So उस तरीके से हमने कोड किया हुआ है.
सर एक और सवाल जो है, एक जो क्वेश्चन जो आता है while dealing with the investors कि is it a right time to put my lump sum amount in the mutual funds or any of the schemes and mutual funds? So is it the same with SIF strategies or we can do it anytime despite the market or cyclical cycles?
सो हम ऐसे प्रोडक्ट ही सो ओके आई कैन नॉट स्पीक फॉर द ब्रॉड इंडस्ट्री आई मैं बिकॉज प्रोडक्ट अभी इवॉल्व हो रही है सो पीपल विल ऑल्सो फाइंड देयर वेज वी ऑल्सो विल फाइंड आवर वेज व्हाट वी हैव बीन टोल्ड इज टू make least number of mistakes as possible. It's always the case that it's not that we will not make mistakes, just ensure that you make as few mistakes as possible. So वो उस आइडिया पे हम चलते हैं पहले तो बट हमारा जो endeavor है हम we want to make it like a product which you can enter at any point, exit at any point, but stay through a cycle at least to see the benefits of investing in such a product. At the same time, how do I put it? We want to basically take out the we saw a big problem के behavioral issue होता है especially investing in small and mid caps right लोग गलत टाइम पे आते हैं गलत टाइम पे जाते हैं तो ये हम फंड ही ऐसे कोड कर देंगे कि if we are very bullish तो it will be extremely heavily invested usually at that time हमने जो देखा है ना इन्वेस्टर आता नहीं इन्वेस्ट करने और जब हम बेरिश होंगे मीनिंग मार्केट बहुत टॉप पे होगा मार्केट बहुत ओवरहीटेड होगा एंड आई एम वेरी बेरिश ऑन द मार्केट तो एट दैट टाइम my cash levels might be higher in the fund.
Okay.
So then we want to try to take care of the allocation problem altogether for the investor by making it coding it in such a way.
So to sum up with the SIF, I would like to mention that for our investors कि SIF एक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट है जो आपके PMS AIF और म्यूचुअल फंड्स के बीच का एक ब्रिज को गैप को फिल करता है and the minimum investment requirement is 10 lakh rupees and thereafter you can do SIP and with the same taxation of mutual funds and exit load as the same of mutual funds. Sir, we are into last stage of our podcast where I will be asking you few rapid fire questions. अगर आपको 25 के मार्केट्स को एक वर्ड में डिस्क्राइब करना हो तो
it grounded a lot of people.
Definitely because we had some outperformance in markets and
it reset expectations actually.
So and जब हम सेकंड क्वेश्चन साइडवेज मार्केट की जब इन्वेस्टर से बात करते हैं तो सबसे बड़ी गलती क्या करते हैं वो जब साइडवेज मार्केट्स में होते हैं
एक्सपेक्टेशंस जब बहुत हाई रह जाती है पीपल गेट डिसअपॉइंटेड ट्राई टू फाइंड द नेक्स्ट काउबॉय प्रोडक्ट अवॉइड दैट
लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टिंग के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट एक क्वालिटी क्या होनी चाहिए इन्वेस्टर में
पेशेंस एंड डिसिप्लिन
definitely and some other day I was listening to your CIO Naren sir and he mentioned that patience and discipline is the only thing which can definitely make a lot of money for our investor. Sir, as you mentioned that you'll be managing X top 100 fund, so उसका पोर्टफोलियो बिल्ड स्ट्रक्चर क्या रहेगा किस तरीके से स्टॉक सिलेक्शन रहेगा फंड के अंदर
सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द पोर्टफोलियो बिल्ड ऐसा होगा कि कोर व्हिच इज एक्स टॉप 100 हैज टू बी 65 to 100% इन द फंड व्हिच इज प्राइमरीली स्मॉल मिड कैप कंपनीज जस्ट टू बी क्लियर अबाउट इट then we are allowed to invest up to 35% in top 100 companies as well.
Okay.
That will be determined again everything will be determined by a model 0 to 35% debt be allowed hai. That's not something we are looking at as of now to be a big return enhancer. The others portion which is in which we have taken a approval up to 20%, it's a separate asset class. So ये तीन चीजों में toggle होगा and so basically at one end if we are very positive 65 to 100% in 100% invested in small mid caps. At the other end if we are very negative 0% in small mid caps. That's how we are coding it at both ends.
And sir what about the stock selection criteria for the fund?
Right. So stock selection may it will be a combination of bottom up and top down strategies. If we like, but we are not trying to say it will be a very concentrated fund strategy or something of that sort. We are guided by the philosophy that we have to generate risk adjusted returns with low volatility. So first the model will tell us kitna allocate karna hai across what asset class. And the model will give us 4 things to invest in, right? Basically it will tell me how much exposure in टॉप 100 हाउ मच एक्सपोजर इन एक्स टॉप 100 हाउ मच कैश ये तीन चीजें बताएगी मुझे मॉडल उसके बाद मेरा काम शुरू होगा आई विल डू स्टॉक एंड सेक्टर सिलेक्शन जो सेक्टर्स अच्छे लगते हैं वी विल do more stock selection there. If I like some stocks in a sector which I can say okay let's buy maximum of it, I will do that. अगर कोई बहुत ज़्यादा stocks अच्छे नहीं लग रहे हैं मगर pick करने हैं तो then I can make it a diversified strategy also. Okay. It can be both ends guided by the philosophy to generate risk adjusted returns with lower volatility as possible.
If I talk very layman with you, so it will be more of a small mid company's portfolio with a
Correct.
little bit of large cap into it.
You're right. You're right. X top 100 led strategy. है ये.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, ICICI AMC has been known for their fund managers' expertise. So, can you please put some light on who will be managing both the strategies for the investors?
Sure. So ICICI culture is a great thing that we see. All of our fund managers जो होते हैं पहले एनालिस्ट टीम में आते हैं, एक्सपीरियंस होते हैं, फिर उन्हें पहले एक फंड में को फंड मैनेजर बनाया जाता है विद अ वेरी सीनियर फंड मैनेजर, and then as we show our abilities we are made lead fund managers as well. So that's exactly how we are building on SIF as well. So this here we have Naren along with Divya and I. So we three will be running the X Top 100 Long Short Fund. On the hybrid long short fund, Rajat, who has extensive experience running the hybrid funds for us from the equity side, he's the lead fund manager along with Ayush Shah. The other two fund managers from the debt side is Manish Bantia, who's our CIO for debt, and Mr. Akhil Kakkar, who's a senior fund manager in debt.
So, giants will be managing these funds.
Very excited.
Thank you, Manan sir, for giving your valuable insights for our investor. I'm definitely sure that these valuable insights will add a value in their portfolio journeys and will help them to make a better informed decision. Thank you so much for joining with us.
Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Investments in Specialized Investment Fund involves relatively higher risk, including potential loss of capital, liquidity risk, and market volatility. Please read all investment strategy related documents carefully before making the investment decision.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.